And the next thing we are going to talk about is, up until this point, we've actually learned if statements, if-else statements, else-if statements. And if you remember, in this section outline, we haven't mentioned these two guys, ternary operation and switch. We haven't mentioned them when it comes to JavaScript conditionals. So we are going to tackle those today. And as you can see, we just have two of them. And once we are done with JavaScript conditionals. Trust me, don't be afraid, don't be scared. We are not learning new syntaxes out. We are not learning new things here. We are learning what we actually, understand before, and we just want to get advanced with it. So we are not actually introducing new things, or maybe the one we've learned before. We are actually here to understand them better and bringing something else. So I just want you to understand these things. So these two guys over here, they are just different ways of doing control flow, but they won't do anything that a simple if-else statement can do. However, there are cases where it will be much easier to use these two than if we are using the if-else statements. So these guys are just available for us to make our life easier. Because sometimes you might have some if, else if, or conditionals that, or maybe some what's it called, control flow that you using these two guys will make your life easier, and it makes your code readable, straightforward, and you really, really love them. Trust me, you really, really love these guys. And once you understand them, you would actually, sometimes in some cases, you actually ditch these guys. You won't use them again. So that is why we say we are going advanced. So nothing too serious. So let's check them out. The first one we are going to talk about, let me clear this. The first one we are going to be talking about looks like this. Condition, then the first expression, colon, the second expression. You see that it's not too serious. That's what we have. So what is this saying? It says, is this condition true or false? If it is true, that is this question mark. If it is true, then provide this value, expression 1. Else, which is the second colon, which is this colon. Else, if it is false, provide this value. So straightforward, and that's all. That's all. Nothing too serious about it, like I said. So, okay, let's do this. This is how we do write our if statement. We do if condition, whatever we have in the condition, then this value, if true, if it is true, return this value, else, if it is false, value if false. So this is what we have for, our if-else condition, if-else statement. So this is what is converted to this. Let me do this so that we understand better. Expression 1, if true. Expression 2, if false. So imagine we have how many lines of code? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 lines of code for this, and we have just 1 line of code for this. So straightforward, nothing too serious about it. So this is ternary operator. We call it ternary operator, and it's like this. So this is an else statement or if-else statement. So this is what we have, and this is what we converted it to. A single line of code, very clean. Anybody can come here and understand. But the question is, I still don't understand. What do you mean by this? So I have a diagram for us here. So I'm going to use this to like explain what we are actually doing. So I can just, let me put this in the slide, show. Okay. Okay. So the condition is what you are actually testing. The condition is what you are actually testing. The result of your condition should be true or false, which we already know. And this question mark separates our condition from our true value. Anything between this question mark, and this colon, is what is executed if this condition evaluates to true. I hope that is clear. Finally, this colon, if your condition evaluates this particular condition here, if it evaluates to false, any code after this colon is executed. So I think the best thing for us is just to like do some examples so that we understand how it really is, instead of us being theoretical. Let's get practical. So I'll go back into my VS Code and escape, go back here. Okay. So in my VS Code, I'm going to say, let's say we have a person which is an object, and his name is, I think today I'll be selfish, I'll be using my own name. So his name is Ridwan, and his age is, how old is Ridwan? 20. Ridwan is just 20 years old. I have an error here because I'm inside an object. So Ridwan is 20. Can Ridwan drive? We don't know. Let's do can drive, and let's give it a initial value of null. So if we want to like check if Ridwan can actually drive or not, with our if statement, if else statement, we can do if, and this is an object, if person dot age is greater than 16, assuming that 16 is the official age of for you to be able to drive. If person dot age is greater than 16, then person dot can drive should be equals to, let's say, yes, he can drive. Else, if that condition is false, person dot can drive should be what? Should be no. So we can actually check this, in the console and see what we are going to have. So if I go into the console, copy this, go into the console, I got yes back. So if I check the object of person, you see that I have object of person, age, can drive, which is yes. So that means this condition is true. Person.age is greater than 16. And as you can see, the age is 20. So that means it is true. So, but if we do person.age, let's say person.age is what? Let's do person.age is 10. So if I do this and I check person, so if I check person, you see that, that is what we have with our if-else statement. So how do we convert this to ternary operator? How do we do this? So to do this, instead of having this if-else statement, we can do something in line of, convert this to ternary, just a single line. Person dot can drive equals to, so let's do person dot can drive equals to person dot age if this condition, if this person dot age is greater than 16. So if this condition is true, then print yes. If the condition is false, print no. So straightforward. So let's try this. I'm going to cut this. Oops. I'm going to cut this. Let me just put it there so that I can just have it saved. So let's try this and let's see what's going to happen. So I add my semicolon. So if I copy this now and I go back into my console, let's clear this. So if I do this, I enter. You see that? So if I check my person, what's it called? Person object now. Oops. Let's check the person object and let's see what we have here. We have more. Why? Oh, sorry. Person dot. Oh, I think there is an error. Person dot can drive. Person dot age is greater than this. Person dot age. Okay. So I think something is wrong. Let's retry that. So if I have this now, I got yes. So if I check person dot person object, I got yes. So you see that. So this is ternary operator. So what if we do, let's change person, let's change that. Let me clear this. So let's change the age now to, instead of greater than 16, let's say it is 15. What do we get? We get no. So if I check person object now, we got no. So imagine, look at this. We have this if-else statement, which is one, how many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And we converted it to what? Just one line. Life is beautiful. So, we can actually add, let's add some parentheses so that you can actually visualize what is, the order the code is executing. So if I do this now, like this is just, so this is what we have. This is our conditional. So if this is true, then do this. If this is false, then do this. So I think this is kind of, descriptive. And as you can see, the first thing that happens is our conditional is checking to see if person.age, is greater than or equals to 16. So if this is true or false. So since 20, which is the age, is greater than 16, so this evaluates to true. And we have, so once this evaluates to true, what we have now is person dot can drive equals to true, and if true is true, do what? Return yes. So this is what is actually happening. So if this is true, return yes, else do what? Return no. So this is kind of straightforward. You really love it if you just learn how to write it and you apply it in your code. It is straightforward. That is just that about that. So if this condition is true, which is this, the value between the question mark and colon is going to get, returned. In this case, that is yes. Now that we have our return value, the final thing to do is, to set it equal to our variable, which is this. You understand? So we have, is going to set it like person dot can drive equals yes. So at the end of the day, this is what we have. So this is pretty straightforward, very simple. It looks a lot nicer. It's simple and everything is on one line. So that is that about ternary operator. So a ternary operator is really good for, if else, where there is a check for a condition and there is two possible expressions, that can come out of it. So that is when we can use ternary operator. But the question now is, do you remember it one that we have if, we have else if, we have if else, all those things. What if we have multiple JavaScript if statements? So how do we handle that with ternary operator? Well, life is kind of simple. So let me give us another example. So let me give us another example. Let me leave that. So let's say we want to we want to do this example for drivers, So we do, if you want to use our old guy, we can do function, and this function is going to return, is going to check if the speed of the driver is greater than or equals to 120. Then you can actually use this to solve the problem of speed limits for FRSC officials. So we can say if speed is greater than or equals to 120, then return you are driving too fast. So else, or let's use else if the speed, is greater than or equals to 80, then, or don't let us use greater than or equals to. Else if the speed is equals to 80, then do what? Return you are driving fast. Yes, it is dangerous. You are driving fast. So else, if none of the condition above is met, if it's not driving above 120 and the speed is not equal to 80, then do what? Return you are driving okay. So we have this. So we can actually, let's run this code in our browser and let's see what we have. So if I clear this now and we do var, we have undefined. So if I check message, message is a function, sorry. So if I do message, I run it, I have you are driving okay. Why? But the speed is, oh, sorry. I have to check my condition. So I can do here, if it's greater than, yeah. So I want to rerun my program. So if I do this, I do message, and I call the message, it says you are driving fast, which is working. What if the speed is, what's it called, 70? What if the speed is 70? And I call my function message. What do I have? You are driving okay. What if the speed is, let's say speed equals 130? And I call my message function. My message function. I got you are driving too fast. It is dangerous. So my logic is actually working. So the question now is, we have if, we have else if, and we have else. And you remember, for our ternary, we have the condition. If it is true, so definitely this is if it is true, return this, else return this. So how do we convert this to, ternary operator? So to do this, we can actually convert it like this: var message equals speed, is greater than or equals to 120. If that is the case, return, let me shorten this, return too fast. Else, if speed is greater than or equals to 80, let me just add space there. Then, okay, else, check this. If speed is greater than or equals to 80, return fast. Return fast. Oh, sorry. So you can see that it's kind of embedded. Return okay. So let me do this. So return okay. So here, if I console the log message, let's see what we get. Console the log message. So I'm going to copy this. So let's say var speed equals 90. So if I copy the code and I do this, let's see what we have. We got fast, which means, you know, the speed is greater than 80, but it's lower than 120. So we got fast. What if the speed is 130? So if we do console.log, if we console.log message, or let's just call message. If we do message, what do we get? So definitely something is wrong. So let's rerun that. If I do var speed, I just cleared my console. I want to see if there's an error. Equals 190, and I do var message. I got too fast, which is running. So if I do, var speed equals 70. Let's check for this case. And I run my code, I got okay. So this expression is actually, and what we have here is very, very simple. So here you can actually add parentheses for the conditions you are checking, or probably just to make your code visual. So here we are saying that check this condition. If speed is greater than or equals to 120, then if this is true, then return this. Else. So once is this else is going to like, once this else sees this condition again, this question mark. So just like you are asking a question, like you are querying, like, okay, question mark, okay, I need to query again, like else, if this is true, then run this, or if it is false, return this. So that is how that is done. So it is the best practice to use ternary operators when it makes the code easier to read. You know, if the logic contains many if-else statements, if-else, 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 it is advisable that you shouldn't use ternary operator, because it's going to like create a lot of problems. It's going to like, you know, at a point you lose the mental track of what is actually happening. So the question now is, what is now the solution? It's okay sometimes if you have your if-else, if-else, but if it's getting too much, then it makes your code less readable. So what is now the solution? So we have another guy, which is our guy over here. And as you can see, the name is switch. Very simple, switch. What are you seeking? Like the switch challenge. So let me just recap what we have before we go to that switch. So as a recap, in general, the syntax of the ternary operator is this, which is condition, you know, then the expression, okay, the condition, the question mark, the first expression if it is true, then the colon, the second expression if it is false. So that is, you know, basically the syntax. So the condition is an expression that evaluates to Boolean. It returns a Boolean value, either true or false. If the condition is true, the ternary operator returns the first expression, which is before the colon. If this returns false, then it's going to return whatever value that we have here, the expression 2. So the expression 1 and expression 2, you know, are expressions of any type. They can be of type, if you remember, we have different types. They can be of type number, type string, type Boolean, type whatever. So it is a best practice to use ternary operator when it makes the code easier to read, like I said the other time. So that is that about ternary operators. And we have, this is 520, 526. So let's move on to the second one, which is our guy, switch operator. So you are going to really, really like the switch statement. Trust me. So it's going to be fun, and you know, you really enjoy it. So the switch statement, or let me call this video into two.